Hello everyone, it's Hugh, and it is time for us to talk about Bullet Hell. This is being recorded just after the second playtest for Bullet Hell has stopped, and once again, Bullet Hell was fucking peak, dude. I love this game mode so much, and the reason why I love it so much is because you actually get to use the flight models of these top tier jets. Because, like, in ARB, you use your rate, you use your speed, use your acceleration, use your energy retention, blah, blah, blah. The fucking, like, bare minimum. But in Bullet Hell, when you're actually fighting these planes, like, in a close quarters combat when you're forced to use guns, you actually get to use, like, the instantaneous AOA of some planes. Like, with the funny button, you get to see how floaty some of the flight models are, the stall characteristics. I can go on about this, but this is what makes Bullet Hell so great. You actually get to fly the planes. It was also really funny to see, like, the players haven't fucking changed. A lot of these players, they do not come from the old legacy top tier where you actually had to aim and manage your speed, etc., etc. All these people have just been, like, literally bought a premium, spam missiles up until top tier, and continue to spam missiles. So all they do is fucking head on each other, which is really funny. But if Bullet Hell sticks around, it'll incentivize these players to start working on these skills like we did back in the day, And with these players, like, maybe, like, thinking this is fun and getting slightly better aim, slightly better situational awareness, etc., etc., I think this will make the game mode even more fun because the players won't be killing themselves anymore in head-ons. Having a more, like, a mechanically inclined game mode is really good for War Thunder because it'll just make the players better. Because of this, I feel like this game mode should stick around for a lot longer or become permanent at some point because it'll just make the players better, as I said before. But obviously, Bullet Hell, still being in kind of an early state, isn't without its issues. The first and most prominent issue, which a lot of people are talking about and which I completely agree with, is the spawning. You're supposed to take 2 crews with 2 compatible aircraft, and you can spawn these one aircraft twice, and the other one once at least, or you can spawn in 3 separate aircraft. We have 3 spawns, and we can only spawn a jet a maximum number of 2 times. I do not like that. I think you should be able to spawn, like, have 3 spawns of whatever you want, whatever you bring, because that's kind of what Bullet Hell is all about. Top tier jets fighting top tier jets. Like, you can see in the background footage, I'm fighting an F4F right now. I have up tiered this plane to like 14-3, so it's really unfortunate to see, like, phantoms and flight models that fucking suck in, like, the top tier gameplay that Bullet Hell is supposed to be. Also, everyone who plays air realistic battles only have all of their airplanes on 1 crew. So they have to spend like $1 million SL per plane to expert crew to be able to play the game mode, which is just unfortunate. If they give you 3 spawns of whatever you want, whether that be the same plane or a bunch of different planes you bring, I think it'll fix players leaving because they don't want to spawn in their bad plane. They want to fly their good plane, so let them fly their good plane, Something that I also think should be reworked is the size of the maps. I think they're good for 8-3. But once you get faster and faster and jets are moving through over distance much faster, I find myself constantly, when I'm trying to drag out people to fight, at like the edge of the map all of a sudden. I think the radius of the map, because it's a circle, it should be increased like 5, maybe 7, 8 kilometers, just to give a little bit more room. This is especially prevalent in the Highlands map, which is like a fucking terrible ass map in my opinion. It's up at altitude, and throughout the entire map there's like a plateau that you fight over, and once you get to the side of the plateau where it starts to drop down, you have no space until you reach the map limit, so that's a problem. And if you bounce off the map border by accident or on purpose, like, sometimes you'll literally spawn right in front of the mountain and just crash into the mountain because there's no space to move. And especially if they're adding the ability to play non-afterburning jets, like, MiGs, Hunter, Sabres, stuff like that, high altitude maps just kill those planes. So because of that, I think Highlands should be removed. And hear me out. It would be super peak if they replace Highlands with Korea, the fucking GOAT. We haven't seen that map in the game forever, and it currently resides at a battle range that makes no sense. Like, yeah, my favorite World War II battle was fucking Korea, It makes no sense. Another slight thing I think will improve the game mode is the spawning, and like when you're spawning into the game, the spacing in which you spawn at. Because right now everyone spawns in almost the same place, and it just kind of inclines players to go head on. If you like, if they just spread the players out a little bit more off spawn, so to just not have like a fucking like cloud of retards like dogpiling on each other, that'd be great. On a positive note, though, they changed the refuel and rearming mechanic, where instead of being in this bubble, you fly like to a certain spot close to your spawn to this little point that it shows you on your HUD once you run out of ammo, and that'll refuel you instantly and start the rearm timer. And you don't have to stay in the bubble in your spawn while doing it. You can just fly towards the battle. I really like that. It gives you less loiter time, and you can just get right back into the fight. I think that's great. Another thing which I would like to bring up that might need to be tested in the future is increasing the spawns that you're allowed to spawn in, maybe to 4 or 5, and increase the kills to win by a little bit. The games seem to go by really quick, and like sometimes like people just win by landslides. So something that could be cool is just having the battles go on a little bit longer, just in case you get into a really good lobby where you can get clips, or you're just fighting like a really competitive game. Having that for longer and more time to be a little bit more strategic, or more time to farm clips, for example. I know a lot of people like myself, but also like this is a big Call of Duty thing too. Back in the day, where you have good fucking lobbies, just being in them for longer is really fun. So that might be a good change. It will need testing though, but I think that could be a good idea in my opinion, just having the games last a little longer. Also, like, as you can just see, I'm literally to like this side of like the map, and I'm getting bounced off the map border when I'm pretty fucking close to where everyone is. That's kind of stupid. That's why I want the maps bigger. But also, if you're gonna get bounced off the border, don't like bounce into the middle, bounce to the side again, I guess. Anyway, I'm really excited to see the future of this game mode. I'm honestly kind of scared as well, because there was a lot of negative feedback on the spawning, and I don't want Gaijin to see this as, oh, we don't like the game mode, because everyone I know loves the game mode. So many people, randoms, love this game mode. I'm constantly in chat about people saying, this is so fucking good, I love this game mode. I do not want this game mode to disappear, nor does anyone. And those who don't like this game mode can just play the normal game. Just play normal ARB. This is for the people who want to play it. Anyway, that's kind of concluding what I have to say. I really hope Gaijin takes this feedback into consideration. I hope all like the random people on the thread for Bullet Hell are just like ignored, because there's just so many random fucking outlandish comments that make no sense that are just drowning out the positive feedback. So I really hope we actually see these changes, and maybe they're going to think of something that's good that we didn't think of. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching.